The wealthy parents found their biological daughter who had been abducted 17 years ago in a rural pigsty. But their first reaction upon seeing their daughter was disgust at her foul odor, unwilling to approach her. In contrast, only the adopted daughter, who had been raised by them since childhood, stepped forward to speak up for her sister. The biological daughter initially thought this was just the adopted sister's scheme, playing the innocent to compete for affection. So she directly raised the knife in her hand, intending to tear off the other's hypocritical mask. After all, when she was just 7, she had personally twisted the neck of the trafficker who abducted her. By the age of 14, she had already killed 2 thugs who attempted to assault her. Now, if anyone displeased her, she would never hold back. But to her surprise, the seemingly polished adopted sister rushed forward and tightly embraced her. Not only was she unbothered by the smell, but she also softly comforted her. She told her sister not to be afraid and that she would always protect her. In that moment, the adopted sister was like a beam of light shining into the biological daughter's dark and boundless life. However, due to her inherently ruthless nature, everyone who crossed her met a terrible end. Shortly after starting school, she beat a dozen bullies in her class so badly they all ended up in the hospital. The parents collectively sued the school, demanding her expulsion. When her parents found out, they beat her severely without even asking for an explanation. They even cursed her, calling her inherently evil and saying it would have been better if she had died in the pigsty. Just as the malice inside her was about to erupt, her adopted sister arrived in time, loudly clarifying the truth for her. She explained that it was the bullies who had bullied her sister first, forcing her sister to crawl like a dog and oink like a pig. Thanks to the adopted sister standing up for her, her surging rage gradually subsided. Then, the adopted sister gently helped her fallen sister to her feet. Ignoring their parents' objections, she took her to the yard and tended to her wounds. By the time she turned 25, the adopted sister was about to marry and leave her. Before parting, she specially performed her favorite dance for her sister. She also said her biggest dream was to become a world-class dancer. But just 2 years later, her sister made a video call. She was covered in injuries, sitting alone on the edge of a rooftop. After bidding her final farewell to her sister, she jumped directly from the rooftop. The woman immediately ordered her driver to change direction and head to the hospital where her sister's body was taken. Having seen the darkness of human nature since childhood, she instantly realized her sister's death was definitely related to her husband. And now, the only person who could suppress the malice inside her was gone. She hired the world's top detectives, vowing to uncover all the masterminds behind it. She would make those damned individuals pay with their lives for her sister. As she entered the hospital corridor, she saw the adopted sister's husband crying over the body. A strikingly beautiful woman she had never seen before stepped forward to comfort him. From their intimate behavior, she immediately sensed their unusual relationship. Even worse, the adopted sister's own son was throwing a tantrum over his mother's corpse. He complained that his mother was a bad mom for dying just when his dad and aunt were taking him to buy toys. As a result, he didn't get his toys, and he was filled with resentment toward his mother. Anyone unaware would think the 3 of them were the real family. Furious, the woman scolded and hit the unfaithful, treacherous man. She confronted him, demanding to know how her sister had really died. The man was instantly intimidated by her powerful presence. The scheming woman pretended to be kind, stepping in front of the scumbag to shield him. But the next second, she was firmly slapped by the woman. The scheming woman hadn't expected her to dare attack publicly, but to maintain her delicate persona, she had to suppress her anger and act wronged. The brat, seeing his aunt bullied, rushed to teach the woman a lesson, but he was scared back by her icy glare. Seeing the situation turning unfavorable, the scheming woman switched to playing the innocent and apologized. Witnessing such cunning, the woman realized her naive adopted sister was no match for her. Just as she suspected, the scheming woman was also involved in her adopted sister's death. The woman's husband also arrived at the scene. He didn't even notice his wife was there, hastily checking on the scheming woman's injury. Judging from both men's reactions, the scheming woman was their childhood friend who had grown up with them. Then, the woman calmly spoke up, telling her husband she was the one who injured the woman. Upon hearing this, her husband raised his hand to teach her a lesson but froze in shock upon turning around. He never expected his wife to return from abroad so soon. He immediately suppressed his anger and asked his wife why she had hit someone. The scheming woman seized the opportunity to cling to his arm, pitifully saying, "Big sister is taking her grief over our sister's death out on me." But before she even finished speaking, the woman slapped her again. Seeing the scheming woman struck once more, the husband demanded angrily, asking why she was venting her sister's suicide on others. The woman never dreamed that the husband who pursued her for 7 whole years would turn against her for a woman like this, so she stood her ground and immediately demanded a divorce. Hearing the word divorce, the man instantly realized he would lose her as his financial support. He immediately toned down his anger and even swore on the spot to love only her for the rest of his life. Meanwhile, the scumbag man was too frightened to make a sound. Seeing both of her simps cowed by the woman, the scheming woman tried to slip away, but the woman grabbed her hair from behind and yanked hard. Just then, the woman noticed the scheming woman was wearing the necklace she had personally given her sister. She snatched the necklace, rushed to her sister's body, and a strong suspicion surged within her. Had they bullied her sister while she was alive? She had to see for herself if her sister had any injuries. The scumbag guessed her intention and hurried to stop her, pressing down hard on the white sheet to prevent her from lifting it. This only made the woman more certain her sister had been abused. As she lost control and pulled out a knife, pointing it at him, without hesitation, she slashed the scheming woman's arm. This unexpectedly enraged her husband completely. He shoved the woman to the ground. Her head hit the floor hard hard, and her consciousness began to fade. In her coma, she dreamed of her sister's tragic death. When she woke up, she was already in a hospital room. Just then, her subordinate hurried in with documents the detective had just uncovered. The first thing she saw upon opening them was her sister's body covered in scars. Her legs had been broken. Those were the legs she dreamed of using to become a dancer. The woman frantically demanded to know who had done this. The subordinate reported that a year ago, the scheming woman returned from abroad and began harassing the younger sister's husband. From then on, the scumbag grew increasingly cold, even driving the younger sister into depression. But afraid of worrying her sister, the younger sister endured it silently. The final trigger for her suicide was catching the two together at a hotel. When she confronted them, the scumbag pushed her down the stairs, crippling her legs. The very next day, he served her divorce papers. In despair, the younger sister jumped from the building. Meanwhile, the trio in the morgue were plotting to cremate the body quickly. It turned out the woman's husband had known about their affair all along. Yet he still chose to help his childhood friend and buddy cover the truth. They had to send the body to the crematorium before the woman discovered the signs of abuse. So the man bribed the funeral staff heavily to arrange immediate cremation. But they didn't know. The woman had mobilized all the security forces of her corporation and was storming the hospital with her team. Just as the trio was preparing to wheel the body away, the woman arrived just in time.